Welcome to the Butterfly Effect. I'm Chris Horner, and this is Stage 4 Tour of Romandie 2021. What a fantastic stage. High and lows just from my emotions watching it on TV. I can't imagine what the riders were feeling. It's cold, miserable, and wet. 4 Celsius out. That's about 40 degrees Fahrenheit. It's cold and the rain's coming down. It's not awful rain like we saw at yesterday's stage, but it's still wet. Everybody out there's having a bad time for sure. On the long descents, like we see on today's stage, that's when you really can get cold. It's not so bad racing in the cold if you're going up a climb because you'll warm up, you'll come down the short side, and then you'll get cold at the bottom, but you're starting the next climb right away. On today's stage, these are much longer climbs. They're 10, 12, and 20 kilometers long. The last one's a 21 kilometer long climb. So the descents are massive on this particular stage. There's plenty of time to get cold. Right away, a group of 7, when I pop on, are off the road and they got just over a 6-minute lead. In the back, it's Movistar riding, and they got some help from the Swiss national team. I don't know what they're doing. The Swiss national team have Simone Pilot up in the front brake. He's a breakaway specialist. There's no reason to put any pressure and chase your own teammate down. They had a mountains classification jersey wearer, but he wasn't. It was too late. There's nothing you can do. The gap is over 5 minutes, and they're chasing in the back, helping Movistar when they got a team rider in the front that has a chance at winning the stage still. Crazy tactic. They are absolutely getting a Knucklehead award today, but they won't be the first. They'll put them second on the Knucklehead award for today's stage. First is going to be the UCI, because they neutralized the stage at the top of the penultimate climb. Now there's 4 climbs in today's stage. It's 160K, so about 100 miles long. 3 good, hard climbs. The last one, I'd call it an HC. They rate it as a category 1, but it's an epically hard climb. Only one Cat 3 out of the 4. So the penultimate climb's a Cat 1. They're going over that. The front group at the top has 3 minutes 40 seconds lead, and the UCI neutralize it. The problem is the car in front of the front group is going faster than the car in front of the GC favorites, the Peloton. They're going much slower back there. You can see them all bunched up behind the car, curb to curb, so you know that car is going slow. The first car with the 7 leaders, he's definitely on the gas through the corners much quicker, and they give the break 2 minutes. Now, like I say on the Butterfly Effect, there's always time to fix and repair a mistake. The UCI had massive time here to repair this mistake and take back those 2 minutes. Instead, they just let the race play out. This blew my mind away. We're going to start the last climb, a 21K climb to the summit finish at over 7.5%. This is a massive climb, and it's very hard. The problem is, in the breakaway up the road is Magnus Cort Nielsen, and he's under a minute on the general classification. And now instead of starting the climb at 3.5 minutes, they're starting that over 5.5 minute lead. In the back, that lead you can still bring back on a climb like this for sure. I thought, okay, Ineos will go to the front. Rowan Dennis is going to drive this thing. He was probably going to do it anyways. I was surprised he didn't do it on the penultimate climb. So to see Rowan Dennis get on the front right away on this last climb and just drill it, it'll bring back that 5 minute and 40 second lead on Magnus Cort Nielsen with no problem if they start doing it right away. Now, I'm sitting on the couch thinking, Magnus Cort Nielsen is a good rider, okay? But sure, he could get caught by the Ineos guys even at 5.5 minute lead. Now what happens? Next 5 kilometers go by. Still, Ineos aren't riding the front. Movistar, tactically, I thought they were fantastic. They have race leader Marc Soler in the yellow jersey, but he's not the favorite. We all know Richie Porte and G. Thomas are the guys who can time trial and bring back that 14-second lead in tomorrow's TT last stage of Tour Romandie and win the overall. In my book, they are race leader. Movistar can ride or not ride, whatever they want to do, because they got the yellow jersey in my book. But honestly, there's no denying that G. Thomas and Richie Porte are going to put in a stellar TT tomorrow and outpace the Spaniard. Up front, Magnus Cort Nielsen, he starts drilling. Now he's up there with Simone Petilis And those two guys are working well together. I was kind of surprised to see Simone doing even pulls with Magnus Cort Nelson, but okay, maybe he had great legs. We'll see him get popped later on the climb going up where Magnus Cort Nelson's going solo and he's trying to win the stage and get the race leader's jersey. At this point in time, I thought the stage was wrapped up. Now remember, on the butterfly effect, here I covered Paris-Nice. Magnus Cort Nelson on the last stage won that out of a group of favorites, and it finished more or less on a summit. It went up, had a little bit of rolling, and some curves and turns, tight turns to the finish. But it really, you had to make it over the top of that climb with some stellar riders there like Max Schachmann, who won the general classification, and he still did. So for him, in my book, to lose 5.5 minutes when Ineos finally start pulling at 13.5 kilometers to go before the finish, I thought they didn't have a chance still at that point in time. What I'd seen out of Magnus Cort Nelson at Paris-Nice had led me to believe, sitting on the couch, that he could win and take the race leader's jersey here. But it wasn't going to happen. In the back, Ineos start riding, like I said, at 13.5 kilometers, and then they get back off the front. I was like, really? You get on the front, and now you change your mind, you pull your guys off 0.5 kilometers later, and it's Movistar back on the front. So Movistar setting some tempo. They're not bringing back any time on Magnus Cort Nelson. Now we get into 12.5 kilometers. The chalkboard shows up next to Magnus Cort Nelson, and it shows he has a 5-minute, 25-second gap. Now this is reassuring me that he's going to win. Originally, I thought maybe the time gaps aren't right that we're watching on the screen. They can often be wrong and then changed later. So I kept waiting to see that time up on the screen change to Magnus Cort Nelson, and maybe that gap was something different. It's happened many times in my career where race radio is telling us something, fans are telling us another time, chalkboard shows up, and it's even another time after that. So I'm wondering if that's what we're seeing here, is the TV's not accurate. Once I see the chalkboard though there, I know like Magnus Cort Nelson's got a good shot at winning this. In the back, Ineos start riding again at about 9.3 kilometers. Now they're riding on the front and they're setting the pace hard, and this is when you really start seeing some damage go to Magnus Cort Nelson, and you start seeing the group losing riders out the back. Some of the favorites are dropping back there, like Rui Acosta. He was riding in the top 10 here on GC, and he's getting popped off the back. So now you know the speeds are fast. But wow, 5.5 minutes is still a long time to bring back, and this is a short amount of distance. Up front, though, now you start to see with Magnus Cort Nelson, he's reaching in the pocket often, he's grabbing food, he's trying to put in calories. It's not going to help. His legs are blowing, and he's going to get caught. First, he gets caught by his breakaway companion that he dropped earlier on this mountain climb. Simone comes back and passes him again. That's the Intermarché team. And now I'm starting to think, well, maybe Simone's going to win the stage. But we've lost on TV all kinds of time checks between the breakaway riders and the field, so we don't know exactly how close it is. We get back and we're watching a picture of the favorites back there, and we'll see Michael Woods taking off his jacket on the climb. This gets tricky. Remember yesterday I brought it up here on the butterfly effect. It's dangerous when you're taking your jacket off at slow speeds. He pulls his jacket off. When he does, he throws his jacket around this way, and the arm of the jacket grabs his left brake lever and pulls his bars quickly left and then right, and before he knows it, he's off the road in the side of the gutter. Amazingly, Michael Woods pulls it out and gets back into the race without losing any time and really not much energy, but I'm sure he had a little adrenaline rush after that particular move. Up front now in the group of favorites, Roland Dennis' turn to take over. After he takes over, we're going to see directly where Marc Soler throws an attack. Race leader, yellow jersey wearer here at Tour of Romandie is going to throw an attack, and he knows he needs time on G. Thomas and Richie Porte, and that's why you're seeing him attack right here. In the back, look at the picture, it's Roland Dennis, and he's putting out his hand like this. Roland Dennis was leading his teammate Richie Porte and G. Thomas on his wheel. So what he's doing is he's telling, when he sees Marc Soler attack, when he puts his hand out like this next to the bike and he's looking back, that's telling Richie Porte and G. Thomas, I got this, guys. Don't worry, I'm going to bring him back. I still got good legs. Roland Dennis keeps continuing. He's doing the train. Whoa, keeps riding the pedals. He's going to bring back Marc Soler on his own. Next guy up to go, though, is going to be Michael Woods. The Canadian is on good form. I thought he was. At the beginning of this week, we saw him from Liège, Bastogne-Liège, riding fantastic and blowing that field up there just over the last weekend. Now he's going to put on a show, and it's a big one. So he throws in a big dig. He'll go and he'll start catching everyone. The Australian rider, Ben O'Connor, will try to follow with him and even latch onto his wheel. Ben did a great job, the AG2I rider, of grabbing the back wheel of Michael Woods after he bridged across to him. But Michael Woods will put in another acceleration and open up a gap. Back there in the group of favorites now, it's getting real. We're at 3.5 kilometers to go. You got Michael Woods going up the road. He was only 30 seconds down on GC, so he could take the race leader's jersey, but he's going to need some extra time for the time trial tomorrow. He's not a TT specialist, so he knows he's got to go hard. He's got to dig all the way to the line, but he's going to get the race leader's jersey at this point in time in my book, because we go back to the favorites. With 3.5 kilometers to go, we see Richie Porte on the back, and he's really struggling there to hold Marc Soler, who's riding first wheel. Two guys in between him, Richie Porte, fourth wheel, and it looks like he's swinging just a little bit off the back. They don't show G. Thomas. Now, at this point in time when you're watching on TV, if a rider like Garrett Thomas would have jumped away, there's no way Garrett Thomas would be able to get away without the cameras catching it normally. He's such a big favorite, so they wouldn't catch it. So when you go back to the group of favorites, right away, I'm coming up in my mind, G. Thomas just got dropped. There's no doubt about it. He must have got dropped because they would have showed him attacking had he done. We have to wait 500 meters later, which is a long time when you're talking about 8, 9, 10% steepness on a climb. Some time goes by. They're going flipping back and forth between Michael Woods and the group of favorites back there with Marc Soler, race leader, chasing. Then finally, the camera spots and finds us, G. Thomas, and he's bridging across. He's already caught back there, the Deceuninck Quick-Step rider. Next in line is going to be Ben O'Connor, and then he's going to jump across to Michael Woods. When he makes connection with Michael Woods, just before Woods is looking over his left side, seeing G. Thomas come in, and now Michael Woods knows that he's not going to go solo to the line, and he has to save a little bit of energy. Any rider at that moment starts to ease up and rest the legs just a little bit. Tactically, Michael Woods knows G. Thomas needs time on Marc Soler in order to take the jersey, but remember, there's a TT, so he doesn't need so much time on the GC favorite back there, Soler, but if he can get it, more power to him. Problem is, Michael Woods wants to win the stage and needs time to take the yellow jersey. At the finish, last 2 kilometers, G. Thomas is doing basically the front pulls there with Michael Woods on his wheel all the way into the finish. 200 meters to go, Michael Woods makes a mistake. He attacks G. Thomas way too early. When the climbs are this steep, to go at just under 200 meters, it's just too early. He does a big acceleration, but there's a super hard left steep hairpin turn coming up, and he leaves the inside open where G. Thomas slides up through the inside and takes the lead. Michael Woods will counter right after that. When about 75 meters to go, he'll pass G. Thomas on the left. G. Thomas will go to get out of the saddle with about 50 meters, only 50 meters to go. He'll get out, he'll start to sprint, and his right hand will slip off the handlebar, and he'll crash on the ground immediately. At that point in time, when I'm watching it from the couch, I'm like, man, get up, start scrambling. You got to go. It just looks like it's in slow motion. It's in slow motion because as a professional rider, you're thinking you need to just hold that energy, that 100% energy, maxed out energy, that little bit longer to get to the line. Now when he's hit the ground, all that energy that he had saved for that last 50 meters has been used up. He's ready to pass out at that point in time. He's moving incredibly fast when you think about how exhausted he must be. When you watch it in slow-mo, it's terrible to watch because it looks like he's going so slow. Regular speed, it still hurts you, but when you really dissect his crash, there's never a time where he stops and pauses. He's always fluid in his movement. My only thing was, I thought he should have just grabbed his bike and started running for the line. He was so close. At 50 meters, he's really close to the line and might have saved a few more seconds. Instead, he chooses to straddle his bike, get on his pedals, and start pedaling to the line in order to save a chance at winning the general classification at this year's Tour of Romandie. Up front, Michael Woods, the Canadian, pulls out the stage win and will take the yellow jersey here at the Tour of Romandie with one more time trial stage left in tomorrow's stage. It's a tall ask to expect Michael Woods to be able to win the time trial tomorrow, but with the hard crash today and hitting the deck with G. Thomas, who knows, maybe his legs aren't that good on tomorrow's stage, so we still got some drama left in order for Ineos to be able to take this Tour of Romandie home. Want to point out many things. Ineos is that strong where they're able to give up the stage win yesterday to Marc Soler, who shushed the crowd. Today, he comes home with his head down and hurting as he crosses the line, so there won't be any shushing going on for Marc Soler after today's stage. He's lost Tour of Romandie, but he got a good stage win with yesterday's victory. Team Ineos, though, even being able to give up the stage yesterday, losing the yellow jersey, crashing today at the finish of today's stage, will still have a chance to win the overall classification here at Tour of Romandie in 2021. Tomorrow should be a spectacular TT. Look forward to it. Hope you like today's take on the butterfly effect. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you real soon.